Anxiety, it freaks me out. It's driving me, it creeps me out inside of me.
Hey guys, welcome to another segment of BAM. My name is Brian, and being anxious, anxious me. So what I want to talk about today is surviving high school. And why is this important? Basically what high school is that detrimental developmental stage of our lives that we're trying to find ourselves, right? So we're trying to find our identity, who we are, and this is going to segue into our professional lives. So if we can't do that, of course we're going to have anxiety, and we're always comparing ourselves to our peers no matter what, since the beginning of pre-K, kindergarten, people are always going to be around us. We're always going to gauge our successes with them and see if we're successful as much as they are. So of course this is going to build a lot of anxiety in ourselves overall. So first, what I want to do is tell you that school overall is for your own benefit. You're there for your own self. And if you're trying to be a successful person, understand that this is going to be the most important thing that you can ever do in your whole entire life. So, forget about everybody else and do your own thing. 1. 2, I want you to get out of your comfort zone. Do things that you wouldn't normally do. If that means, trying sports or talking to people, being social, actually do that. Why? Because mostly what it is that I didn't try that much, and I wish that I did. And mostly what happened was that I gave into a lot of peer pressure, and that made my life a little bit more miserable because I did a lot of the things that I did were basically out of actions of my anxiety. So we're doing this for our own benefit, right? So engage, ask questions, and don't be ashamed of your own successes. Be proud of them. If people are going to ridicule you for being smart, being in band, or anything of the above, forget them. Why? Because most likely they won't be your friends overall. And 2, who cares, right? Because you're not going to live your life. You are. And if you're going to let someone affect you for the rest of your life just because of that one little thing that you're so proud of, well, you're going to have a really bad time for the rest of your life. And of course, some people don't forget high school. Next, the challenging of yourself is going to engage in the idea that your biology affects your environment. So there's this idea that, if you're born charismatic, good-looking, athletic, or, very smart, the environment's going to reciprocate the same way, right? And what it is that you'll have people who are very assertive, the elites, people that are kind of right in the middle that, fluctuate up and down, and then the subservients, which are your introverts and your geeks and everything like that. Most people are right in the middle for the most part, so that'll give us the ability to, fluctuate up and down and make our lives a little bit more easier as we're trying to engage in high school. So understand that, as we put the energy out there, the energy is going to reciprocate. So this is karma, this is reaping what you sow, and then in quantum physics, this is the law of attraction. So, what we're going to put out there is going to definitely reciprocate. So this is going to be very important once we're actually, engaging with our peers and everything like that. Of course, there's this book called, The 20 Bitches by Tanya Love. It's a very small book, very easy read. But basically what she goes through is the 20 types of bitches. So you have the rich bitch, the broke bitch, and then et cetera, et cetera. And if you have this mentality going into any kind of conversation, or, your asshole, if you want to use this, and I'm using these terms because in high school we use these a lot. So people are going to feel that off of you, and this is a theory called, emotional contagion. And this is, again, from our mirror neurons. So we'll see what people are emanating, and then, of course, we'll feel the same thing, so we'll reciprocate in an aggressive kind of manner. So if you don't think that people are going to be aggressive towards you, they're going to be very nice. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Understanding that, be very conscious and aware of people's personal space. Be socially savvy. What does this mean? Right. So there's nothing wrong with, going out of your way, being courageous and talking to a really cute guy or a really cute girl, by that manner, and saying hi. You seem very interesting, or you seem very cool, possibly, but, I want to see, if you really are that cool. And mostly what it is that you're trying to give them the opportunity to say, hey, this is who I am, and, if you like to be my friend, we can do that as well. And most oftentimes what happens is that we'll get caught up in our anxiety and we'll go and engage really aggressively and we'll freak people out. And we don't want to do that. Why? Because high school is actually really, really small and people don't forget about things like that in high school. And college is a little bit more different depending if you're in a community college or a smaller college, but overall in college, you probably won't see the same person over and over again. So next is going to be this 3 times rule. I want you to have this idea that high school is almost a high school dance, a campus dance, right? So on one side you have the men, and then the other side you have the women, and of course there's that detrimental space that, kills people. And of course there's that one person that's going to have the courage to go up to the girl, or Sadie Hawkins dance where the girl, asks the guy to dance. And what this does, it eats you up, one, and it's going to put you in a position where people are going to ridicule you or praise you. So again, we don't care what other people are going to think of us. We're going to do our own thing. And this is going to be a personal development of, loving ourselves, this self-love. Again, we're trying to be able to wake up in the morning and say, I love you in the mirror every morning and every night. So this 3 times rule is going to be an idea that once you meet a person 3 times and you have that connection, you have a really good conversation, ask for the number. You never know where it's going to go. If you want to be friends, that's perfectly fine. You can go to parties, go out to the mall, do anything that you want to do with that person because, of course, you have that connection, you have that rapport. But for the most part, understand that they have personal space and they also have social pressure on them if they're really pretty, athletic, or anything like that, because for the most part, high school is in hierarchy. And of course, I think it's really dumb, but for the most part, that's always how humans are going to see things. So understand that, and that these people are always going to be around you in the future. So having that pressure is going to be detrimental and very gauging in your anxiety. So what we're trying to do is just taking it a little bit at a time, and then see, little by little we'll learn and we'll create the habits that we're trying to do. Of course, this also goes into peer pressure, because what I did in high school was given to a lot of peer pressure, and I didn't do a lot of the things that I wanted to do, unfortunately. I wish that I tried a little bit harder, so, I'm trying to give this, knowledge and information to people that are going into high school, that are in high school, or leaving that high school funk. Or people that, can't even forget, and they're still going into, those meetings with your peers and everything like that, and of course, you're trying to understand, why am I still feeling this way? Because in high school, I was that geek or that, dork that people didn't like. So again, you'll ask me, so if we do this, why are you doing these videos? Well, mostly is because, one, we like to keep ourselves in our comfort zone. And two, self-development is just difficult in general. You can ask anybody that has ever done anything successful, like Steve Jobs, rest in peace, and you can ask him if he did this overnight. And of course, you can watch the movie Jobs, and you can see that he actually was really broke for a very long time before actually became very successful, and we're using his own products. I mean, I'm even using my iPhone to actually film this. So what this is that, it's going to take a while to embed these habits in ourselves. And what it is that, we'll forget one day, and then, we'll do something that is like, oh my God, I can't believe that I did that. So of course we'll learn from that. So any reference that you get from your experience is a good one, right? It's a learning experience. So understand that. Next is going to do with the peer pressure. If you're going to do anything, be smart about it. We all experiment. That's fine. I completely, understand that. But if it's going to affect you in the long term, if it's going to affect your, academic or educational, basis of, performance or grades or anything like that, I mean, I wouldn't do it. Or if you're doing sports, and it's not helping what you're trying to do in sports or band or anything like that, why? I mean, it makes no sense. I would do what I want to do. So if you're going to experiment, learn the consequences, learn what you're going to do, and if you want to do it, then feel free, but of course understand what it's going to end in the long term. Next is going to be fighting. This can be cat fights or guy fights, it doesn't really matter. For the most part, I fought a lot, I did, So, I can't really talk about it that much, but for the most part it's because I was a really small guy. So I had to learn karate, got my black belt and everything like that. I had to defend myself. And mostly what this is coming from is, a mentor that, I honored a lot, and this is Bruce Lee. And in his book, Jeet Kune Do is basically this idea that yielding to the force of your opponents. So understanding that, you don't want to throw the first punch, ever. Why? Because, it's just stupid. You'll get suspended, you'll be labeled as that troubled kid, and of course they'll always keep that eye on you, because that happened to me, and I completely understand how that is, because you can't even walk without someone, basically pointing the finger at you. So, understanding that, that when someone wants to fight you is basically saying that you're not fit to live. And this is from, evolutionary theory that saying that once you fight, you have to fight to the death. And basically what that peer is saying is that you are not fit to live. So you have to defend yourself, of course, by all means. But of course, with reciprocation that, and understanding that at that moment, you're not the one that's starting the fight, and they are. So, of course, I would actually avoid that. And overall, what we're trying to do is have this understanding that, we're trying to change our lives little by little. So self-development is always going to be this life-changing thing, of course, and it's going to be this thing that we're going to take at a day at a time. So, of course, have this in mind, once you're going through high school, or if you're in high school, have this in mind. Don't be afraid to say hi. If you meet someone and you think they're really cool and you're walking through the hallway and you see them and they don't say hi, don't be afraid. Don't let your ego have that, effect on you, and you won't say hi because of some reason that, you'll feel like an idiot or anything like that. If anything, go back, walk 2 steps, tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, what's up? How you been? And they'll actually, praise you for that. They'll appreciate you for that, because you're actually going out of your way to reciprocate. Again, what we're trying to do is put the energy that we want to receive. So again, remember that, and hopefully this, makes it a little bit more easier as you're going through high school, because high school is just very hard in general, because a lot of people don't forget high school, as I said before. Again, guys, I'm here in the lake, enjoying my time. Happy Labor Day. Alright guys, so I'm out and about, what I just talked about. Peace.